What's up, guys? Welcome to Wild Pitches. We've got a special guest for you today. We've also set a record for home runs in a game, at least at Toyota Field. Smokies are playing pretty good baseball. Welcome to Wild Pitches. Let's get this thing going. Let's have a good time today. All right. What's up, Aris? See, you got Zach in the house there.
Zach's in the house today. Say hello to the beautiful people out there. How we doing, guys? Zack Shickel, our Clubhouse Manager here with the Tennessee Smokies, joining us, giving us a little bit of the behind the scenes of what goes on with the boys in the locker room and the day-to-day of everything like that. Thanks again for joining us today.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Hey, before we get into the Smokies, tell us a little bit about your background in baseball, minor league baseball. This certainly is not your first team that you've worked for.
No, I've been a journeyman, to say the least. I've been a few spots, starting in the Midwest League. I was with the Burlington Bees, who are now defunct. Cedar Rapids Colonels. COVID threw a wrench in it, but I was going to be with the Phillies and Clearwater. I did Dayton Dragons with the Reds, and here I am now with the Cubs. So I'm excited to be here, and yeah, it's been great so far. I'm really excited to be here.
So that's how many years total so far?
I'm pushing like 10 or so, but with college it's like 15 because I did some student management position with my college, which is Southeastern Louisiana. So that was also what kind of got me back into pro ball.
So how did you end up in the Cubs organization?
It's a great question. Honestly, I just reached out. I saw the job was open. I was in the Southern League last year with Biloxi. I'm on the away side, so these guys had come through, a little familiarity with these guys. The culture kind of drew me to it, to be honest, man. We got a really good culture. I think that kind of stems from the Cubs all the way down. It's just you got a good group of guys both on and off the field. And that's what kind of makes my job, enjoyable to show up every day, ready to work and give 110 for these guys and for the Smokies.
When did you end up here in Tennessee?
So I only got here like a week before the team got here. So I had about a week to get it up to par, get it cleaned up in my, to my liking and whatnot. We got a really great facility. It's the last year at this ballpark, but it's a really great facility.
Patting us on the back there.
Yeah. I do like the facility, dude. The locker room is awesome. I think guys are pleased, with the setup as well. But for next year, looking forward to next year with the new stadium, it's going to be even better.
All right. I mean, yeah, definitely next year is going to be exciting. New this, new that. Yep. Definitely state of the art and everything. Tell us about the guys that we have here so far. Our opening day roster is pretty similar to what we have before guys get called up, sent down, whatever it is. Talk about the guys for a little bit. Man. Share what you can, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So the guys, man, they're great. They are all you can ask for as a clubhouse manager. Hospitable, friendly, social, really appreciative. And they just make my job, a pleasure to do it. I'm running around like crazy by myself all the time. So, they're always there to make it for what it's worth. I give them all I got. That's what makes me do my job, is because I love the guys. But we got a really good core of guys, man. They're, a lot of prospects, but like I said, those guys are the same type of dudes off the field, which makes it that much more enjoyable.
And we're talking to Zack Shickel here, Clubhouse Manager for the Tennessee Smokies this season. So take us through the differences between a game day, like when we're at home, and a day when the Smokies are on the road, like right now.
Yeah, so when the guys are on the road, I try to take it easy because I'm going, I'm working a lot of hours in season, like in series. But I do some prep for the next series. I'll go to Sam's Club, make my 2 trips to Sam's Club on the weekend, try to get closer to where it's fresh. When guys show back up off the bus, I'll unpack the bus. They'll help me out with that, and we'll unpack bags, start cleaning cleats before the next series, things of that nature. Just kind of take it easy, get my rest. When the guys are here, it's full go. I mean, I'm here. A lot of times, most of the time, I sleep here at night because it's just the time, time I wrap up, and by the time the staff rolls in the next morning. But it's everything from setting up the bench, the dugout, player errands, running to the grocery store, the gas station. Things of that nature, constantly cleaning, constantly changing trash, making coffee, setting up the bench, the bullpen, the whole 9 yards. I help with the apartments a little bit, so dealing, with the keys, shuffling the players in and out, help with that. But yeah, pretty much anything that's logistical that goes on down there, I help out with. Car unloads, that's a big one too. Guys getting their cars shipped. So just a lot of things that people don't think about, but it's it helps make their job a little bit easier.
How much sunflower seeds and bubble gum does this team go through?
Ooh, we go through that. Shout out Chinook. I know we're with those guys. Usually I'm having to buy my own seeds, so it's nice this year having those provided. But no, we go through, close to a box a game, I'd say. That's for bullpen and bench. Staff have theirs as well. I give them some throughout the day they have accessibility to, but I put that out for the games. I'd probably say we go through about a box. And then a tub of bubble gum will last a game or two. So I'd say 3 or 4 of those a week as well. We're going through, we crush a lot of stuff just because these guys are always hungry, man. They're snacking, they're munching. So, we definitely keep the stock down there for those guys.
Mick, how often do you work with a Clubhouse Manager, visiting Clubbie and whatnot?
I used to a lot more early in my career because I was the kind of help with traveling secretary stuff, so I was more involved in the bus trips. There were a lot less people, and it's not like I've been in baseball for 100 years, but, over the last like 5-6 years, they've added a lot more staff that handle, the travel stuff. I can remember when Ryan Sandberg was Cubs manager, I dealt with all of that. And one of the ways to get under my skin was tell me something was going on with the bus. We had a bus driver that was aloof, and it was before we had Bobby, obviously we had a bus driver that was just, the bus was always hot, and so I had to deal with helping out a little bit, but,
You're throwing him under the bus.
yeah, that bus driver, not the guy we got now, our buddy, but, anyway, yeah, so not as much as I used to, but I do appreciate the job. I got into this business because of Ken Dunlap, who's the clubby for the Barons. He was actually at college, Alabama. He was the guy in charge of the the intramurals, and I was the sports chair at my fraternity, KA, at Alabama, and we got in trouble a lot. Not me, but I was the guy that would go bail them out, and Kenny was there. And I told him I wanted to get into baseball. And so I used to ride with him from campus to Hoover when the Barons played there. And that's how I got started in it. So I totally get the business. Kenny's still there, by the way, visiting.
He is. Kenny's an OG. He's one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
If not the best in the league, I would have to say, especially on the away side.
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. So I get it, man. I know what Zach and those guys have to do. And it's a thankless job a lot of times. I mean, you guys don't have a lot of help anymore.
Right. Amen to that. No, yeah, it's definitely one of those things where you got to love it, man. I'm passionate about it. Thankfully my wife's, her sacrifice as well helps me do it, but just kind of uprooted, left New Orleans, and here I am. So that kind of goes back to my point earlier. They guys make it so much, that they make me want to do it. So yeah, it made me thankless at time, but these guys are appreciative, really appreciative. So it goes a long way.
How hard is it to stay with one team for a long time, like Kenny's done? I mean, he's been.
To be honest, man, I think it's just
it's
kind of just in preference for me. Trying to find that right home. I just kind of quite haven't found that perfect niche. But the way things are looking here, it looks like we're off to a good start. I know Ken's been there for a while. Ken will tell you stories back about the Jordan days. I picked his brain about that, and he was telling me about you talking back in the 90s. So, Ken knows what he's doing. He's pretty established. I know he does some radio and broadcasting stuff for ESPN as well. So that's ironic. I didn't know you guys even knew each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ken's been tenured in one spot where, for me, I've been at different spots. I've seen different cultures of different organizations. And yeah, speak extremely highly on the Cubs, man. I'm thankful to be a Cubby.
It's crazy to think about, like, all the people that you've interacted with over the years. Who would you say is like a player that stands out to you? It doesn't even have to be like a household name or anything like that. Like, stands out to you, like, he was like super funny or definitely like a positive type of guy around the clubhouse?
Oh man, that's tough. I've been around a lot of good guys, both on and off the field. Not to name drop too many, but one of the most electric players I ever had was Ellie De La Cruz when I was in Dayton, who was just beginning to take off more and more. He was awesome. I think a lot of the guys that are in that room right now, man, are going to be on that list as well. The Cade Hortons, the Alcantaros, all of them, really. I mean, you got great guys. Shout out Caleb Knight, who gave me my little bullpen hat. Bullpen Outdoors, y'all go check out Caleb Knight. There's just good dudes everywhere, man. I think that's what makes this job so enjoyable, is the friendships and relationships that you make. I've had guys that give me gloves and big league jerseys, bats, and it's cool to have to be a small part of their story, not even necessarily their journey, but just small part of their story as they come through. The friendships you make just last for a while.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
For sure.
And do you get to ever choose the vibe in the locker room with the music, or is that just for the players?
To be honest, man, I take over it at night. Like, once the game ends, guys leave. Like, I'm in my own mode. I'm going for the rest of the night. But no, I'd say that the guys run the aux for sure. We keep a really good vibe. Also, once again, shout out Caleb Knight. He's usually on the aux most of the time.
This guy, he's a clubhouse manager, you could say. Man.
He's awesome, man. He's great. He's great. Aiden Cantrell will throw in some tunes. We got a few speakers down there, so we mix it up. But I would say the vibe is we mix it up. There's different genres of everything. We kind of know when to change the mood. You know, we're getting ready for pregame and whatnot. We start getting some of that heavier rap in there and whatnot. But it's been a good vibe. I'll say that our vibe is good, I think, and that's what helps translate to the field.
For sure. And what is it like? Obviously it's two different worlds where, hey, home team wins, it's all great. High fives, hand pounds, eating some great food.
Right.
What's it like after a loss? Like, what's the vibe kind of like? Are you talking to the guys less about it?
Definitely. And that's the thing, kind of trying to have that feel, guys can have a great outing. It's kind of more of a somber mood. You kind of keep it, low key. But if we're winning, we got music going. Guys are excited. Guys will get their work in post game and head out, win or loss. But definitely, you can definitely tell a difference in a win or a loss for sure. Quiet versus more rambunctious.
There's definitely a different behind the scenes look that people don't really think about sometimes.
100%.
You have a little bit of that taste that a lot of people wouldn't even think about, or they definitely wouldn't know the answers to.
Absolutely. So. No, definitely a lot of it's just having that feel, the experience of being around it for sure. Knowing when to talk, when not to talk. But yeah, I'm a social guy. I talk to the guys. I hope I don't aggravate them. I mean, I said they seem to not to be aggravated, but I honestly, I care about them. That's why I'm here. It's not so much about the name on the jersey, but for the guys themselves, what can I do to make their job easier so they can hopefully progress their way out of here.
That's the truth. Hey, we're definitely been progressing recently. Mick teased it at the beginning of the show there, but we put on a parade of home runs on Tuesday, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it was something to see. I mean, it was a record at Toyota Field, and Kevin Alcantara is like on fire right now. He hit 2 of them, and then Pablo, you can't not love Pablo. He hit 2 of them, and James Triantos hit 2 of them, and Hayden McGarry. There's a carnival going on in the parking lot, and he about hit the people putting up all of the carnival stuff.
I noticed that
carnies,
that Ferris wheel out there, right? And I'm like, that wasn't always there.
It's just for today. Like, it's going to be a zoo in that place, getting in and out. But they did a kind of like a carnival in the parking lot. So, but yeah, I mean, 8 home runs in 2 games. Had another one yesterday, 2 wins. The team's off to a good start. And I'm curious to see what happens with our roster, because, at the big league level, Cody Bellinger's got cracked ribs, so he's going to be out for maybe 50 days or more. And Seiya Suzuki's out. And Pete Crow Armstrong's back at the big leagues. And Matt Mervis is back up there. So right now it hasn't really, as far as I know, it hasn't affected our roster yet. But I think that's coming, where the roster is going to be affected, and we'll see, who goes up and what that looks like. But it's part of the business. I mean, that's why these guys play.
Hey, these fringe guys, just as you said, like PCA and Canario being called up to the big leagues, there's a lot of talent in the outfield, and now they have the opportunity to get some at-bats a little bit more in the majors. And it's going to be interesting, just as you said, where, a guy like Owen Casey, who played the entire season with us just a year ago, and he's getting his feet wet in AAA, maybe that's something now where he gets to play every single day. And with our team being so well, it seems like we're finally getting into a groove now. It's just a part of minor league baseball of people getting called up. So we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. And, a good question for Zach is, like, when that happens, how many guys have you been around that have gotten called up for the first time on the team that you're working for?
Yeah.
And has that happened?
Oh, yeah. I'd say it happens a good bit for sure. I mean, it's so many moving pieces, but there's things that go on with that logistically as well, having to make sure if they're on the road, then I got to go to the guy's apartment and help pack it up. Things to make it easier, because, those things do happen, and they happen quite often.
It'd be pretty fun to just be around someone. I mean, I've been at the Smokies for a long time. It's a handful of guys. I mean, in my years there, Starlin Castro is one that stands up in my mind. Kyle Schwarber, I remember when he got called up, Dan Vogelback leaked it and it was coming across the bottom of the ESPN ticker. We were in Jacksonville, you know, you weren't allowed to say anything, you know, you know how that goes. Like, they tell you not to say anything, which we really don't know much on my end until they're ready for us to know it, which I like, because, you know, if I'm doing my job, sometimes I have to speculate. And if they tell me, I won't do it. I won't speculate, you know? So it's kind of nice when it's a big move, kind of, you know, like when they're ready for us to know, they let us know. And a lot of that has to do with the managers too. I mean, Lance is easy to work with. Kevin Graver's like the greatest person you ever met and on earth, really. You know, KG, yeah. Loved Michael Ryan. You know, there's three guys, very different guys, but all easy to work with. There's been guys in the past that are so afraid to tell you of a roster move or something going on. You know, on our end, we have to deal with that, and I'm sure for you too. I mean, like, they need to know that, look, if they tell you something, that they can trust you, and I think that's something that people don't really understand when you're not in the business, how important that is to them.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, for sure. Everything's confidential all the way through.
What have you seen kind of change in baseball through the years that you have been, you know, working through it? So, you know, 10 seasons, things have been different 10 years ago compared to now.
Definitely. I think Mick mentioned it earlier. The staffs have definitely grown. You know, you have a staff position for so many more positions that they've created. You have, you know, the mental skills now. Sometimes you have the nutritionists that are on site. This year, the Cubs aren't doing that, but certain teams will have the nutritionist on site, plus have like a head nutritionist. But the biggest thing that I'd say in my realm is the food. When I came out of college and I was working in the Midwest League, it was all on me. The pregame, the postgame, the snacks, everything, supplement, everything that they needed throughout the day was all through me. Where now it's just the supplemental stuff is on me, and the teams cater their own food in. So instead of having to juggle the hat of being a chef and a clubbie and a laundryman and a janitor, you're not tossing as many hats, because now you're coordinating the food delivery, you're coordinating the food setup, you're taking down the food setup, and not so much having to worry about preparing it. Now I do provide a good bit of stuff for the guys, according like the PDL, plus the Cubs have to get some other stuff additionally. So like there's plenty of options, and guys don't go hungry by any means, but it definitely takes a little stress off of me, because dealing with food is just the nature of the beast. You're never going to please everybody. So having to be the caterer and be the clubbie, it made my life a lot harder, where now it's more focused on, the service that I provide and, taking care of the food. But I didn't make the food. I didn't order the food. This is what we have, And I report, different things. Guys didn't like this meal. Guys do like this meal.
Right.
Guys crush this meal. But yeah, I mean, they're taken care of. We get fed well. And I definitely say the food has changed, and it's made my life a lot easier. I mean, there was a point in time I was like 5 years in, and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, because I'm not a chef. Like, I don't have time to be cooking and running around, setting up, doing everything that comes around with the job, much less the food on top of that. So,
and that's something where you're not just cooking for yourself or your family, 4 or 5 people. You're cooking
like 40
for
plus,
40 people.
Yeah.
So, what kind of meals were you making? Like, you didn't just order like a bunch of lettuce and then throw some tomatoes in it and call it a salad.
No. I mean, you're dealing with like taco bars, sometimes trying to make like ribs and rice. You're trying to keep a variation, just so you're trying to please everybody. And that's the thing too. Back in the day, it was dues, so it was coming out of your pocket. So you had to provide a good spread, pregame and postgame, and try to make money at the same time. So it was definitely hard to navigate. Where now there's no clubhouse dues. Guys just tip if they want to tip. It's not expected or anything, but if they tip, they tip. And I get paid more of a salary.
Sure.
So where it's different. That dynamic of being a clubhouse guy has totally changed. I know the food, there's so many good clubhouse guys that stepped out of it just because they couldn't keep up the food. And I wouldn't even say like the appearance of the food, but like the quality of the food, and being a quality clubhouse guy because you're so worried about the food. So I think taking the food off of our plate and just being, coordinating the assist of setting it up, taking it down, feedback of that, so it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, I bet. You're focusing on making this great meal that 40 guys will love, but you also got to take care of their cleats and their jerseys and everything else that goes on downstairs. So
there's a lot of moving pieces. That's the thing about it. There's always a lot of jobs at once.
What's your specialty right now? What are the guys downstairs really like?
I think my biggest go-to is just being present. I'm always around. I try to do pretty much. I don't like to say no. So if I can help, I'll help.
Yeah.
But I take pride. I take pride in my uniforms and my cleats. I'd say presentation is big for me. I want these guys to feel like, this is double A baseball, like you're, one step away or 2 steps away, whatever you look at it, from big leagues. A lot of guys go straight from double A to the show. So I want guys to kind of feel that, obviously I don't have big league resources. I'm only one guy as opposed to a big league staff, but, I want guys to feel like this is not just, playground ball, but we're in double A. And I'd say my attention to detail with spikes and uniforms goes a long way.
What are your thoughts on, there's a little bit of a crisis right now in Major League Baseball with the clothing. Some pants have been ripped. Some tops and jerseys don't necessarily match. They're different shades and everything like that. What are you have any comments about that? So to be
honest, man, I don't have any comments on it. I just been seeing stuff that guys have said on Twitter and whatnot. I know that the Fanatic material is different feel to it. I've seen the difference, and you can tell. But as far as comfortability, some guys say it's comfortable. So like it's a mixed bag. I don't really have the expertise to even comment on it, but I do know that that when guys are sweating, like you see guys like drenched in sweat, and the tone will be off, and it doesn't match the gray pants. So yeah, I've definitely heard mixed reviews. At the same time, man, you're in the show, so I don't think anybody's complaining too much.
I saw the one clip of some guy on the Tigers, and he totally split his pants from the waist all the way down to his knee. That'll be a long time to hem those puppies after the game.
That's quite a different blowout. Usually we have the blowouts, on the back or the front, the knee, which we do. We have a fair share. Shout out to my seamstress who's always on it, getting me, pants prepared even this early on in the year.
Yeah.
But no, the side blowout, that's just crazy, man. I don't know what's going on there.
Not enough stitches.
Yeah, something, man. But they cut some money on the stitches.
So, Mick, how's everything else been going down there with good old Madison and the Trash Pandas? Currently, Smokies have won the first 2 in this series.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, just Cade Horton, pitched twice last series, so we'll see him later on, and that's kind of the big draw right now. Everybody wants to watch him pitch, but it's good to see Brian Birdsell back on track. He had a very good start yesterday afternoon, and I think he's potentially could be one of the best starters that we have, right? And so that's been great. The seeing the bats get going has been important. We're still waiting on Hayden McGarry to kind of find his stroke, but we know that's going to happen. And it took Alcantara a while. I mean, he was 1 for 31, and then he's gotten, I don't know, like 12 or 13 hits. So hitting like 400 or 500 cents, So it's early in the season, but always a fun trip and great place to watch baseball too. If Smokies fans want to go on the road, it's just a good atmosphere for ball. The fans have always been great in North Alabama. They just love baseball, and so this new stadium and this new team, they're all behind it.
Yep. So Smokies continuing the series with the Trash Pandas, and then they bring in the Shuckers, your former team.
That's right.
Are there a couple guys on the Shuckers, that are familiar to last season?
I think there's a few for sure. One guy stands out is Ethan Murray. He and I are friends. He made a glove for me last year. He owns a glove company, so I stay in touch with him a little bit. But maybe I was on the away side, so I didn't have too much interaction with them. But yeah, a few of the staff members and a few of the players. They're also playing really well. So that's the thing about this league, man. This league is so competitive, and there's just good ball, from all 8 teams. It's exciting. I think it'll be a really good series, actually.
There's some really good teams in the league, just as you said. There's a few teams that are struggling a bit, but everyone else has been very strong and competitive so far.
I'd say it's pretty solid for sure. But yeah, next week we'll probably see Jacob Mizorowski. So that'd be cool if he lined up with Birdsell or Horton or any of the guys, honestly. But yeah, I think we're going to see. We got Brock Wilkin coming to town. We got a few names that are coming, so it'll be good.
Hey, and next week we got a few great promotions coming to Smoky Stadium. On Friday, it is Bigfoot night at the park.
Do you believe in Bigfoot? Do you guys believe in Bigfoot?
I don't know. I don't really have an opinion. I'm not against. I don't think that there's no Bigfoot. So I guess I could say I believe it. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, and maybe it's like a Bigfoot could be there, but he's just a interdimensional creature that we can't see.
Right. Exactly. I mean, you never know what's out in these mountains.
Yeah,
I mean, he could be over here in these trees right beyond the outfield wall. So
he might be a big baseball fan. He just sits up there and watches the game, and we can't see him.
I mean, Bigfoot is such a a highly coveted thing here in East Tennessee. I never knew until, I moved down here 6 years ago. But people really are obsessed with Bigfoot, and maybe that's just a Southern thing. So,
yeah, there's Bigfoot Fest in Townley coming up too.
Yeah, exactly. So, here's the ballpark. We're going to have the Mountain Monsters from Travel Channel. They're going to be here for a meet and greet. We're going to have Turtle Man and a couple of other authors that have written books about Bigfoot and their encounters and everything like that. So super unique. I feel like he exists. I feel like there's more than one. I don't think there's just one, Apparently people have seen Bigfoot in, Asia and Antarctica and all that other stuff. The abominable snowman, the Yeti,
all that. Yeah.
So who is he? What is he? Do they breed? Are they real? Are they among us? So Bigfoot Night's on Friday. Be on the lookout for that.
I think that'll be a good one. I've never heard that as a promotional night. So that's pretty cool. That's unique. I like it. I think it's fitting. I agree. I think it's fitting for Tennessee. I'm from New Orleans, so Bigfoot, we think of Bigfoot. We think more of like, voodoo creatures in the swamp and stuff. And not necessarily like the Bigfoot, but I can get on board with Bigfoot. Yeah, man.
So how much do you know about voodoo?
Me personally, not much. I stay far away from that. No, it's more of just kind of like people think it goes on more than I don't think it's really that prevalent. Back in the day, it was maybe like the 1800s or whatnot. But people always associate voodoo with Bourbon Street and downtown, the French Quarters, and all that. But no, we can get on it. This could be the voodoo for the Tennessee Smokies, the Bigfoot. I like it.
I went to New Orleans just once, and I'll tell you what has a great correlation with Bigfoot because it smells like Bigfoot there.
Ooh, so it feels like a lot of things.
yeah.
But the food was good, right?
The food was great.
Okay.
Food was great.
Hopefully people were hospitable.
The people there were very nice that I ran into.
Good to hear.
I had some beignets. I had some gator down there. Some gumbo.
Yes.
And it's just part of the experience. You have to have it while you're down there.
You have to. It's exactly what you say. It's part of the experience. We're known for our food and our hospitality. So.
And a lot of drinking.
Yes, you're right. I myself am not the biggest drinker, but definitely a lot of drinking down there. The party doesn't stop. We don't roll up the sidewalks. It's a 24/7, So yeah, that's where I started my career back when there was a AAA team, the New Orleans Zephyrs.
Right.
I started off as a bat boy back there. They're obsolete now, but good times, man. Guys always love to come. They're like, oh, terrible ballpark, but great city.
There it is.
So
the truth.
Yeah. It's definitely a mixed bag.
For sure. Nick, you've been in New Orleans, right?
Oh, dude, yeah, I love New Orleans.
You really put a staple on it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had too many hurricanes at Pat O'Brien's, and I've been to Mother's Restaurant and been to some Sugar Bowls, and I love it down there. It's a fun place. It's not too far from where I live, on the coast. So I'm around a lot of Saints fans, and great vibe in the city. And I remember what it was like before Katrina. I haven't been back a lot since Katrina, but I've always liked New Orleans. The accent sounds a lot like the Baltimore accent that I grew up around.
Definitely have that deep draw for sure.
And I like crawfish too. I'll eat some crawfish.
Dude, the best crawfish season right now.
Yeah, it's crawfish season.
I came up here, I loaded up, made sure I had a crawfish bowl before we came up.
Yeah.
Fueling up.
That's right. Fueling up. Yes, sir. How
do you if I brought them up to you, how would I do it? Do they travel easy or are they tough?
I don't know if they travel well. To be honest, man, you'd have to ice them down for sure. I don't know. I've never tried. I know that if you don't have them fresh, it wouldn't be. I don't think it'd be too good. So you have to. They come in those sacks. They come in the sacks, exactly. Yeah. I think it's more fresh or nothing, honestly, Mick.
Yeah. Well, I can't help you then.
No, yeah, we'll have to make a trip down there next year before season starts.
I hear you. Well, so we got to see what am I thinking here? We got a series coming up. Yeah, I get it out. And the Smokies play the Shuckers. We got swept by them last year, so hopefully we'll win some games. That was, remember, Aris, that was like towards the end of the year when it looked like we were just going to lose. And then Cheddar Bob later, we won the championship.
It was absolutely brutal. Like, these guys just came in here and did whatever they wanted, and it's like, these are the Smokies I know. You know, there it is. So
maybe we'll hit them with a Cade Horton night and go ahead and end that streak. So, well, man, this has been fun. Anything else that you guys want to add before we wrap up our?
I know we also got one other promotion, right? We got Star Wars.
Star Wars night is on Saturday.
I hear we got some, Little Birdie tells me we have some cool jerseys. So
yeah,
definitely want to get your bids in on those. We got some guys that will have some value, some prospects down there wearing those.
Yeah, that is the absolute truth. Even if you're not a Star Wars fan per se, the jerseys go to a great cause, benefiting the Pat Summitt Foundation. So your money is going towards a great place. But, also, if you are a big Cubbies fan, or if you're a fan of just one of these great standout stars, this is your chance to get a game-worn and autographed jersey from them. The first opportunity to get so here this season in the 2024 year. And, their Double-A debut, whatever it may be.
No,
so
right.
Guys like Cade Horton that came to our team, near the end of the season, they didn't have a chance to have a jersey that you could win. So this is a great opportunity for you to get your hands on a one-of-a-kind piece of merchandise. So.
Amen to that. Yeah, even a guy like Jaguar, some of these
exactly.
guys have, there's plenty of guys down there that, I would definitely want to get some bids in on it.
Oh, yeah, sure. Definitely. So you can bid online. Be on the lookout for smokiesbaseball.com, as well as on our social medias at Smokies Baseball, how you can bid and win one of these great jerseys. Star Wars jerseys this year feature Ahsoka. So we are the first ever team to have Ahsoka on our jerseys. So if you're a Star Wars fan, this is a must-have to add to your collection. So be on the lookout for that to our social medias and as well as on our website to bid on those. That's on Saturday. May the 4th be with you. Our first fireworks show of the season on Saturday as well.
Hey, it's here. It is here. Officially. The summer starts for
Summer
us.
starts. That's right,
so good.
man.
So
all
good.
right.
That's right.
Well, Zach, thanks.
I appreciate you having me on, Mick. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's been great to chat with you guys.
Yeah.
I appreciate you guys making me feel welcome up here. I know we got a special group down there, so it's going to be a fun year. Hopefully, everybody's along for the ride, because hopefully we're pushing it. Hopefully we're running it back. Put it that way.
Let's ride.
Hey, let's repeat.
All right. Yeah, that's the one thing I'm missing in my minor league jersey. I don't have a championship ring, so I told these guys they got to bring one home to me.
Wow, and they're nice.
That's right. We got to run it back.
There's a chance. Look, I really think that these guys, they've won in every league they've been in, and they won a couple in South Bend, so maybe they can win a couple in Tennessee
under the same manager. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, Lance is great. I like him a lot. All right, guys. Well, look, we'll do it again soon. See you at the ballpark, and thanks for hanging out with us here on Wild Pitches.